addicted to ballin'. I'm addicted to ballin'. I have to get
Good afternoon.
Let's get straight to it.
We asked you guys, who should the MVP of the National Football League be? Drew Brees, Pat Mahomes, or someone else? You guys mostly agreed with Drew Brees. It was by a lot to a little. Micah, what do you think?
I think that's nonsense.
You
And
do?
I think that Patrick Mahomes is clearly MVP, and it's really not even close. And what do you think, Sean?
It's Drew Brees. It's not even. Pat Mahomes isn't even number 2.
Wait, what?
Andrew Luck is number 2.
Sean, that's blasphemy. Sean.
All right.
Sean.
Why do you think Pat Mahomes should be MVP?
Sean. You said who was number 2?
Andrew Luck is number 2.
You're trying to tell me that. All right. You're trying to tell me that Patrick Mahomes is third in the race,
Absolutely.
and I'm trying to tell you that he's first by a landslide. It's not even close.
Why is he number 1?
All right. First of all, let's look. At the end of the season, Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how many other quarterbacks have thrown for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in one season?
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's it. One. You know what happened to him? He won MVP, okay? And it wasn't even close. If you throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, and your team is going to be the number 1 seed in your conference, how can you not be MVP? Tell me.
Who said they're going to be number 1? The Chargers are going to be number 1, but that's another debate.
How? How are they going to be number 1? Because
That's
the Chiefs are
another
going to be
debate.
Seattle.
That's
I promise
another
you.
debate. That's another debate.
The Chiefs are going to be Seattle.
All right, whatever you think.
All right, so you're trying to tell me the Chiefs are going to be the 5th seed, okay? And
Yes.
continue.
It's Drew Brees is clearly the MVP.
And
With
why
what
is
he's
that?
done? What?
And why is that?
Why is that? Are you kidding me? Let's look at big games. I'm gonna start off with big games. If we go by each player's 3 biggest games, like
Okay.
most anticipated games, you have
So for the
Pat
Chiefs,
Mahomes.
it's Patriots,
He
Rams,
faced
and Chargers?
Patriots, Rams, and Chargers. You know his
Okay.
TD to turnover ratio?
All right, what is it?
12-8.
Okay.
You can't have an MVP quarterback cannot have a 12-8 turnover ratio in big games. Drew Brees, on the other hand, you know his ratio?
What is it?
9-1. These 3 games were the Falcons, Rams, and Vikings, and he
Okay.
only had a 9-1 turnover ratio, TD to turnover ratio.
All right, so look.
I think that
all right,
9-1
let's
is a
take look
lot
at that,
better
right?
than 12-8.
All right. You want to put it on that, okay? Let's look through those games, right? First of all, the Dallas game is definitely one of the big games, okay?
It wasn't anticipated.
But it doesn't matter. It's still a huge game. They're both fighting for good playoff seeding. The Saints needed that to stay in the number 1 spot, and guess what they did? They lost. And they let the Rams get right back in it. You know what happened in that
Okay.
game? You know what happened? Drew
Yeah,
Brees threw a
he
game-crushing
had an off
interception.
game. It's okay.
The Saints.
But
and
did he
they're
throw?
37 points a game.
Did he turn over the ball 4 times?
Look, listen. Let me speak, okay? Look. Drew Brees and the Saints averaging 37 points a game. They came in, they versed Dallas. They scored 10 points. 10.
Mhm.
Okay? Look. Let me tell you right now. The Saints defense kept them in that game the whole time because they held Dallas to only 13 points. So what happens? Brees gets the ball back. He needs a field goal to take to overtime. What does he do? He throws a pick. It was a horrible pick, too.
And you're actually like Pat Mahomes against the Rams. The end. Oh man.
All right. So, all right. Look. Patrick Mahomes is the only person who can have a 400-yard and 5-touchdown game and have it held against him.
He threw like 3 interceptions that game, 2 or 3, I forget which.
It was 3.
Yeah, 3 interceptions that game.
Okay, well, 2 of them were desperation heaves at the end because the Chiefs had no timeouts. Okay, because we know Andy Reid and his clock management. Okay, you never have timeouts in clutch time with Andy Reid. He had to just launch the ball, and his offensive line was falling apart. Okay, Donald and Ebicam were absolutely destroying the offensive line for the entire game. Especially at the end, he had to just run away and just launch it. He had no choice because if he went for a short pass, time was going to run out. If he took a sack, it was over. He had to launch it down the field to somebody, and the only person that was there was in double coverage. All right,
But
you said
moving
Brees
on.
big games, right? We're gonna look at
Moving
Brees big
on.
games.
What?
Since you only like talking about touchdown to interception ratio, how about the Vikings game? Okay, Drew Brees threw for less than 200 yards that game. I think he had like 170 something. All right,
I thought it was one.
He did
I thought
not
it
win
was
that
192.
game. Drew Brees did not win that game. All right, and you want to talk about interceptions? You know who's thrown an interception in 4 straight games now? Drew Brees.
Drew Brees?
Drew Brees, yeah. Mhm.
But has he ever thrown more than 1 interception this year in a game?
Okay, he hasn't. Okay, but listen. Let's talk about MVP, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what MVP means? Most valuable player, right?
Drew Brees.
Look. It means most valuable player. Brees. All right, let's look. Mahomes against the Chargers, right? He threw for 243 yards. You know what that is? His lowest total of the season. 243 yards was his lowest total of the season.
Uh-huh.
Drew Brees in the last 4 games hasn't hit that total, and 5 games total he's been held under 205
To
yards.
go on with that, to move it on with that, listen. You know who Pat Mahomes has to work with, right?
Yeah, you mean Brees
He
is not
has to work
weapons?
with Tyreek Hill. He had Kareem Hunt all year until now. We know what happened with him. But he had Kareem Hunt all year. He has Travis Kelce. Sammy Watkins has had a resurgence this year.
Watkins has not had a resurgence. Look at his stats. Look at his stats.
Look at his stats. He had the 2-touchdown game the other week.
Okay, that doesn't mean anybody can have those 2
You know,
touchdowns.
you know
It's
who's caught a
yardage. It's
touchdown
yardage.
for Drew Brees?
Look at yardage.
You know who's
Look.
caught a touchdown for Drew Brees this year?
Even Damian
Austin
Williams
Carr
could get
has
in the end
caught a
zone.
touchdown. Tommy Lee Lewis has caught a touchdown. Dan Arnold. Who the hell's Dan Arnold? Dan Arnold caught a touchdown this year from Drew Brees. He
Okay,
has
all right, look,
Michael
look,
Thomas
let me
and
tell you
Alvin
right
Kamara. Pat Mahomes has so much more. Drew Brees has done so much more with the guys he's had.
Look. Let me tell you right now. All right, look. Sammy Watkins is a number 3 receiver. He's the number 3 option on that team. All right. He
Way
had
better
a
than the
2-touchdown
Saints'
game.
number 3
Well,
option.
Anybody can get 2 touchdowns. Okay. All right. Look at the yardage
Who's the Saints'
totals.
number
Right?
3 receiver right now?
He's what?
Who's the Saints' number 3 receiver?
It's Austin Carr or Keith Kirkwood.
Exactly. I would take Sammy Watkins over Austin Carr.
Sammy Watkins can't stay on the field. He hasn't played in like 3 games.
Austin Carr is a big nobody.
It doesn't. All right, look. All right, you want to compare weapons, right?
Yes, I do.
Mahomes has Hunt. Had Hunt. He has Kelce and he has Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Watkins is not a weapon. Okay, he's another.
Chris
receiver.
Conley's having a good season too.
Oh, Conley's not a weapon.
Yes, he is. You know what he's done this year?
Conley and Keith Kirkwood are in the same sentence.
Okay.
Look at
I'd
Drew
rather
Brees'
have
weapons,
Conley
okay?
than a
Look,
freaking.
look,
I don't
listen,
even know who the
listen.
Saints' number 2
Alvin
receivers. They
Kamara,
have a whole
Mark
bunch of
Ingram,
no one.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah. 2.
Is that not an elite trio right there? Traquan Smith is a solid number 2 receiver.
Traquan Smith. I would take. Oh my god. I can't.
I
do
would
this
take
one.
Traquan Smith over Chris Conley.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
All right, and look. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, let me finish. MVP means most valuable player, right?
Yep.
Drew Brees has 5 games with less than 205 yards this season, right?
Uh huh.
You know what the Saints' record is in those games?
What?
4-1. So you know what that means? They can win without Brees performing. So how is he more valuable?
But does Drew Brees turn over the ball?
But that at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes,
Does
he
Drew
may
Brees
have
turn over
however
the
many
ball?
interceptions.
Does
He
Drew
has
Brees turn
45
over the ball?
touchdown passes.
Pat Mahomes turns the ball over way too much to be an MVP.
Okay, he has
He
11
forces
picks, right?
bad
But
things onto
45
his team.
touchdowns.
Huh?
All right, this is Brees. Brees finally lowered his interceptions for 1 year, and everybody's on him. Look, he only had 11 picks. Is not good, but it's not even horrible. Brees has had more than that in several seasons. Okay?
And wait, if you were talking about like most valuable player, about if your team needs someone or not, Andrew Luck's done a lot more for his team than Pat Mahomes has. Pat Mahomes is number 3.
What?
What do you mean what?
The Chiefs are resting on Pat Mahomes' arm. Look, do you see the Chiefs' defense?
Yeah, I see the Chiefs defense.
They're
I see the
pathetic.
defense that turned the ball
Without
over.
Mahomes
I see
throwing
the
for at least
defense that
240 yards,
got 5
250 yards,
turnovers in
the
one
Chiefs
game. I
have no
think it
chance
was
of winning. They cannot win. Their
5
defense is
turnovers in one
pathetic.
game. I think.
Excuse me?
What? Let's talk about the Chiefs Jaguars game. Did Pat Mahomes have a good game that game?
Oh, 1 game. Drew Brees has
And guess
5.
what? The defense turned up that game. Is that a most
Drew
valuable
Brees has
player
5
moment?
games where the defense wanted for him.
Is that a most valuable moment from Pat Mahomes there?
5. Mahomes has 1. He's responsible for all the other 10 wins.
All right,
Let's
he's also
take a look at the
responsible.
big
He's
games,
also
right?
responsible for their losses with the bad
All right,
turnovers.
look. Let's talk
That
about
New
big games,
England
okay?
game, there were some bad turnovers in that game.
Which one?
The New England game.
All right, look. All right, you want to talk about the New England game, right?
Yes, I do want to talk about the New England game.
What an MVP has to be able to do is bounce back from his mistakes, okay? Mahomes threw 2 picks in the first half, right?
Yep.
You know what he did in the second half? He took his team all the way back from a 15-point deficit to Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Okay.
Okay? And listen.
With Bill
what was the
Belichick
score?
and who's on their
listen.
defense? They have 2 named players on their defense.
Who?
The Patriots. They have 2 named players. They have Trey Flowers and McCourty.
Dante Hightower?
Dante
Stephon
Hightower's
Gilmore?
washed up.
Stephon Gilmore's been a top 3 corner this year.
Stephon Gilmore's what? What has
Check
Stephon Gilmore
PFF.
done?
Check PFF. I believe he's the number 1 rated corner on PFF. Check it. Check it.
That's bullcrap.
Check it. Stephon Gilmore has been elite. That's why he's in the Pro Bowl.
The same. That's a
Trey Flowers, Stephon Gilmore, Dante Hightower, Devin McCourty.
Dante Hightower is way washed up.
What?
What?
Hightower's washed up?
Hightower is washed up.
All right, who do the Saints have on defense?
What has he done this year?
He's done his job in the system. He has a job to do. He's doing it.
Okay.
All right, look. You were talking about the Patriots game, right?
Okay.
It was 2 bad picks in the first half, but
Very
his job was to bounce
not
back
just
from
bad,
that.
very bad picks.
Sean, his job was to bounce back from that. They were down 40-33 with about 4 minutes to go, right? So what's Mahomes have to do? He has to take them down for a game-tying drive. What does he do? One play, 75-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's his job. Only reason they lost that game is because his defense could not stop Brady.
And because
When
of 2 first half
he
turnovers.
was called to win
And
the
because
game, he came
Drew
out
Brees
and he
has not
did it.
turned the ball over more than one time in a game.
Pat
Pat
45
Mahomes
to
has
11
done it
touchdown
4
interception
times,
ratio.
I think. Might be 4 or 5 times.
Well, against the Rams?
He's turned the ball over multiple times against the Rams, against the Patriots, against the Jaguars. All right, 3 times still. That's still a lot.
All right, look, you want to talk about most valuable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me if Drew Brees can throw for 200 yards and a touchdown every game and his team can still win, he's the most valuable player?
He hasn't done that
If you
every
take
game,
out
though.
Brees and
He
put in
hasn't
Teddy
done that.
Bridgewater,
You know
they're
what
still
he
winning
against
10
Atlanta in
games.
week 2? Look, put up that.
That's
put up
one
that spin
game.
move.
Patrick
Look,
Mahomes,
put up that
every
spin
win has
move
been
real
on him
quick in
besides the Jaguars
overtime.
game.
Put it. Put
Drew
up that
Brees is
spin
not
move.
responsible for the Buccaneers game. He's not responsible for the Cowboys game. Oh, well, he lost that one. He's not responsible for the Buccaneers, the Vikings, or the second Falcons game.
He's responsible for the first Falcons game.
Back in week 2.
Back in week 2.
All right, how about the week before that when he versed the Buccaneers and their 30th ranked pass defense or whatever it is,
The
around
week
there,
before that was week 1.
and they lost. How come we can't beat Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Week 1's always a screw up.
Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns in week 1 and beat the Chargers.
Exactly, but the Chargers are a better football team than the Chiefs. Week 1's a test out day.
The Chargers only won the game this past week because of the Chiefs' horrible defense. They couldn't stop
The
them.
Chargers are a better team than the Chiefs.
Chargers can beat the Saints too.
Chargers can beat the Saints?
Chargers can beat the Saints.
I don't know. Drew Brees doesn't want to lose
I'm
them
telling
now.
you, Drew Brees has not done jack for 4 games now. 4 games in a row.
All right. Drew Brees is going to rebound and kill the Steelers this Sunday. Not really kill, but they're going to beat the Steelers this Sunday.
If you look at the Steelers' past few weeks, the Steelers have been playing very, very good defense. Drew Brees has been in a 4-game slump, and it's going to continue. And the Saints' run defense is good, but their pass defense is going to get torched by both Juju and AB, who are both top 10 receivers in terms of yardage this year. The Steelers are going to win.
You know why the Steelers' defense has been beast? They face a terrible New England offense right now.
What makes you think the New England offense is terrible? You're overreacting to one game.
Yo, let's bet on this game.
I put $5 on it.
$5. No, we're doing something crazy,
What do you
bro.
want to do?
Whoever loses this bet has to wear a bra in the next
For the
thing.
next video?
Yes.
All right, I'm so confident the Steelers winning. I'll do that.
All right, deal.
I mean, Drew Brees couldn't even beat the Panthers on his own.
Okay.
He needed his defense to bail him out. He needed Cam Newton to have a bum shoulder. If Cam Newton could throw a football, Panthers would have won that game. He's in a
Let's see what
4-game
happens.
slump. I mean,
when
I remember
Seattle
it
wins
was
this game,
2016.
when Seattle wins this game, you're gonna be what?
All right, look, 2016 Falcons Chiefs, right? Everybody was talking about, Matt
2016.
Ryan has to get out the MVP conversation because that pick 2 that Eric Berry got, same thing that Drew Brees threw to Dante Jackson. That put the Panthers back within 3. That's not a clutch play.
All right.
A clutch play is Patrick Mahomes on 4th down, rolling out to his right, about to get sacked, throwing it across his body, a dime into Tyreek Hill's chest. That's a clutch play. A clutch play is when Mahomes about to get sacked, trying to win the game against the Broncos, throwing a left-handed completion for the 1st down to Tyreek Hill on 3rd down. That's a clutch play. A clutch play is Patriots Chiefs. 4 minutes to go. Patrick Mahomes throws a 75-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill to tie up the game. That's a clutch play. Those are clutch
You know
plays.
what clutch play is? Drew Brees with 2 rushing touchdowns in the final few minutes of the game against Atlanta. The one in overtime and the one in the 4th quarter.
All right, and what else?
That's clutch. You know what else is clutch?
Drew
The
Brees
fact
throwing that
my
pick to
quarterback
Xavier Woods.
looks- My quarterback looks when he makes passes. I prefer my quarterback to look.
And it was still a
This isn't
dime.
bas-
It's called throwing the defense off.
This isn't basketball.
Brees could never
This isn't
dream of doing
basketball.
that. That's called
This
talent.
isn't
That's what it
basketball.
is.
This isn't basketball. I prefer my quarterback
It's
to
called
look.
talent. That's what it is.
It's called talent.
It's called talent. Yeah.
All right, whatever.
All right. You know what, Sean?
Just to
Here.
sum it up, Drew Brees is the MVP this year.
All right. I have one more thing to say to you. Okay.
Okay.
Let me tell you the reason Drew Brees is really an MVP candidate. This year, Drew Brees set the record for most completions in NFL history. He also set the record for most passing yards in NFL history. After he did that, every fan noticed, oh my gosh, for the past 5-10 years, we've been underrating Drew Brees. Because when people list top 10 quarterbacks, nobody's been listing Drew Brees, if you look at all the lists, all right? And then everybody's like, all of a sudden, oh, Drew Brees is the greatest quarterback of all time. This is what's happening. Everybody underrated Drew Brees. He has no MVPs, even though he could have won in 2011, probably should have won, but Aaron Rodgers was brilliant that year. So everybody's like, okay, to make up for us underrating Drew Brees and disrespecting him all these years, because for the past 10 years it's been Manning, Rodgers, Brady, top 30 quarterbacks. Nobody cares about Brees. To make up for that, they want to give him this MVP, okay? They're trying to rob Mahomes
he deserves
because
it.
Brees needs that on his resume.
This year. Because this year he deserves it.
No, he doesn't. I'm
And
telling
when
the
the
fans are trying
Saints
to
go
force
on
it
to
onto his
win the
resume.
Super Bowl,
You're
when
gonna
the
take
Saints go on to win the Super Bowl,
look. You're gonna take the MVP from somebody who threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, or who's going to, and to give it to Drew Brees. It's a pity award. That's what it's going to be if Drew Brees wins.
pity award. My quarterback doesn't turn over the ball.
That's going to be a bigger robbery than Dak Prescott winning Offensive Rookie of the Year over Elliott. That's going to be a bigger robbery than Brady winning Super Bowl MVP over James White.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
So if Brees wins, it's a robbery because people aren't happy with Brees only having 3 Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, 2 Offensive Player of the Year. So he can get a 3rd one this year. He's going to have to settle for that because Mahomes is the MVP. And everybody wants to give it to Drew. It's a pity award, and Brees is not going to get it because he doesn't deserve it. Mahomes is the MVP. My case is closed.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll be back.